Welcome to the Noob to Final Boss. In this series, I'll be attempting to defeat every single boss in the game. I'm gonna start at the easy bosses and work my way up to the hardest. I'll kill every boss 100 times, and I'll talk about my preparation, what I learned, show some gameplay, and of course, share the loot I got. With that said, let me introduce you to Strider, who has just become PvM ready. We have some decent combat stats. For the gear, I'm wearing a full set of Subjugation, which is tier 70 magic power armor. We have an Abyssal Wand and Orb, they are super cheap tier 75 magic dual wield weapons, an Amulet of Glory necklace, Ring of Fortune, and an amazing God Cape from the Mage Arena. We don't really have any useful PvM related items. We're gonna unlock everything as we go through the series. This is just basic entry-level gear, but the stats are solid and it's more than enough for the bottom tier bosses we are taking on in this first episode. In this video, I'll be covering the 3 oldest, most iconic bosses in the game. I might break a few hearts here, but let's be real, these free-to-play bosses don't deserve their own separate videos. One more thing I want to quickly mention before we jump into the first skill is that I don't plan on using the same combat style for every single boss. To spice things up, I'll switch it up for each boss. Are you guys ready? Because I am. Let's get this. Our first enemy is gonna be the giant mole. I'm gonna do 50 normal and 50 hard mode kills to compare the loot and the difficulty. The fight is pretty straightforward, even for me. All you gotta do is chase after it whenever it moves to another chamber, and once it's been to every section it will go back to the middle and you can just finish it there. It has some very basic mechanics. In one of the chambers, the giant mole goes berserk and she can be stunned, and you absolutely wanna be stunning her as soon as you can to avoid the majority of damage in this phase. So I learned which are my stun abilities. In another chamber I had to use my area of effect abilities to kill the minions as quickly as possible, so I was using Chain and Dragon Breath to deal with them all very easily. I also got familiar with Freedom and Anticipation basic defense abilities. I was using them to avoid these falling rocks at some point of the fight. You can use Anticipation before the stun to negate it completely, or you can use Freedom after your stun to break yourself out and then run away from the rocks. Overall, it's a very easy boss. In normal mode, I could basically just stand there and tank the damage most of the time, and I use Protect from melee here and there to reduce the damage. Let's visit the shop and we can unlock the boss hub teleport. Yes! We also have 600 marks of war, that's pretty cool. So the next unlock will be the portal at 100 kills. In terms of the marks of war, we really wanna unlock Vampirism, that's gonna be so useful. A Clingy Mole, nice! This is our very first boss collection log item. You can use it to upgrade the anti-dragon shield, though we won't need it. There we go, we killed the giant mole 50 times. In the meantime, I've also completed the succession quest for the dive ability to make traveling between the chambers a little bit faster. And it was also brought to my attention in the comments that the completion of this quest allows you not to drain adrenaline outside of combat, which is a major game changer. There we go, 10 hard mode KC. Well, honestly I was expecting slightly more from hard mode. The only real difference compared to the normal mode kills is that the mole hits harder, so I was using more of my defense abilities. I unlocked Devotion from the Anima Islands minigame. This ability is a must. It gives 10 seconds of complete damage immunity and it made life a lot easier for me. This is our last kill, guys. There we go, we crashed them all. More removal 6. We removed her 100 times. So here's the loot. It's a little sad but expected. Looks pretty anemic considering how many hours it took to kill this boss 100 times. In terms of loot, the hard mode isn't particularly better than the normal mode, but it does have a better chance of the unique drops like the pet and the dragon two-hander, which we haven't got unfortunately. Including all the drops from the giant mole, we managed to make a little over 3 million GP. Overall, I haven't really enjoyed this boss all that much. Running to all the rooms is pretty annoying, makes the kills long and the profit is definitely not very good money per hour, but the first boss is done, which is cool. 53 more to go. I just made a quick stop at War's Retreat and unlocked the second portal. An awesome upgrade. Now we can attune the eastern portal as well to send us straight to a boss of our choosing. Alright, here we go. I'm using range this time. I'm wearing full black dragon hide. I just realized these armor pieces now give a life points bonus. That's new. Anyway, I made the armor for myself with level 60 crafting, but you can also buy it on the GE. It's very cheap. The full set is around 20k or something, so it's a budget gear. And I bought these armadillo crossbows, which are tier 75 dual wield weapons. These are going for a bit heftier price though. A ring of fortune and an amulet of glory. In my inventory I'm bringing a set of super ranged, defense and anti-fire potions, and some food. Killing the King Black Dragon wearing full black dragon hide. Circle of Life. I haven't really learned anything at this boss besides nowadays you can buy super anti-fire on the Grand Exchange. This potion makes us completely immune to dragon fire, which makes this boss a combat training dummy to be honest. I don't know about you guys, but I never really liked ranged combat. It's my most ignored combat style, so at least I could safely practice my abilities at this boss. I've keybinded some of my abilities to start getting used to pressing buttons and not just clicking with my mouse and get out of my comfort zone that way. So I started to manually activate my threshold and ultimate abilities with my keybinds. I realized that this also increased my DPS slightly. Oh my god, you sneaky little bastard. I didn't see that coming. Oh, I just find out that each of his heads attack with different elements. The green is the poison attack. It has a small chance to poison you, but the damage from this is negligible. There is this lightning attack, which can drain your stats by 2, and the ice attack can lock you in place for a few seconds, but we can still attack him, so we can pretty much ignore this. Level up complete, nice. Yes, we got a unique item. The Dragon Kite Ornament Kit. No idea what it's good for, but still, cool drop. A Dragon Helm, that's gotta be a rare drop, right? Such an iconic item. 3 heads are deader than 1. There are actually 300 dead heads. Another boss is ticked off from the list. And after 100 kills the loot price check is less than 2 mil. Yikes. The majority of the money comes from the runes and the alcobols. But we have 200 boss kills, which means we can unlock the next upgrade. The Altar of War. This one here. A very nice quality of life upgrade, allowing us to restore our prayer points in the hub. Whew! There we have it. There was some prayer flicking action going on. That was pretty intense, not gonna lie. I completed the fight cape for the fire cape. I figured it would be a nice upgrade to my melee setup, and it's also needed later on to get the better capes. Against the next boss, I'm gonna be using melee. I'm using full Necronium, which is tier 70 melee armor, a tier 70 two-handed weapon, a warrior ring, and an amulet of glory. The Chaos Elemental is not a hard boss, but he's a very annoying boss because he will unequip your items randomly throughout the entire fight, and to prevent this I'm just gonna fill my invent up with pies. I chose these because they leave behind pie dishes, and if my inventory is full, then his unequipping attack I was talking about won't do anything. I brought some stat boosting potions just to make the kills faster, and super restores to restore my prayer. So like I mentioned, it can unequip your gear, it can teleport you around, it can cause you a bit of issues. This boss is just a pain in the ass, but to be honest, there is basically nothing to it. We just DPS him down. If you want to kill this boss for some reason, don't make my mistake and use melee. It's probably the less effective combat style here because of his teleport attack. You just have to run back to melee range every time it happens, and it makes the kills longer. If we are lucky here, we can get a massive drop worth millions of coins. Hey, a collection log item. Corrupt Dragon Battle Axe. This is like the strongest weapon in free-to-play. And this should be our last kill. There we have it. Man, I'm kinda happy it's over. these bosses weren't too much fun. The jet fight alone was more exciting than these 3 combined. Looking at the loot from the 100 chaos elementals, I managed to make 2.3 million GP. Not much really. The main money comes from the chaos runes, Saradomin brews, and surprisingly from the stews.
It's good.
Really?
Everything else from the chaos elemental is basically junk. These are not the bosses you'll camp for the money, but they were great to teach some of the basic mechanics I'll probably see in almost every other boss fight. So this is me starting to do PvM. This, a nice little warm up for the upcoming bosses. I learned how to break stuns, I know how to use AoEs and my basic defense abilities, and I also keybinded some abilities, so it's a great start for me. I know it's probably not very exciting, but every master once was a beginner, and I'll try to make these low-level boss kills interesting too. I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode and want to see more. If you are interested in the whole series, please let me know by liking the video, and if you can leave any constructive criticism in the comments below, I would love to hear it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.